Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to say thank you for those that reached out in concern after we've had a few storms blow through here recently during our hurricane season. Yes, hurricanes are a part of the Florida lifestyle. Now, I know we'll talk more about hurricanes as we go, but right now I'm reporting to you from one of my customers' most treasured neighborhood, which is Shearwater. As you see, oftentimes what they report on the news is not always reality. They find some of the worst, most devastated areas to show you, to make you think the whole area looked like this. But guys, I've actually taken time to drive through at least 3 of our neighborhoods so far, and no one has had any damage so far. Now, I do have one customer, all my customers decided to stay in place during the storm. We do perfect geographical location here in Northeast Florida because we're kind of on the tip, we're kind of tucked away, and we have a Gulf Stream protecting Northeast Florida. So that's why a lot of times you'll see storms go around us and then go up to the Carolinas. Not that that's fair to them, but it's just kind of like our geographical positioning allows us to not experience the brunt of storms. As you can see here in Shearwater, I'm going to drive through a few other neighborhoods so you can see for yourself that those storms happen. And guys, storms, hurricanes are a part of what comes with living in Florida. The great thing about it is to take the fear away, is to remember, we know when hurricane season is going to be every year. Not only that, we get days and sometimes weeks warnings in advance. So we have time to either plan a route of safety, whether it be to go to a shelter or to evacuate. A lot of times when I was a teacher, I would just use it as an opportunity to go on vacation. I would schedule me a flight out. Once they canceled school, I would schedule me a flight out for 2-3 days and just go visit friends for 2-3 days and come back when all the hoopla was over. So you do have options. Granted, no matter where you live, guys, you're going to have to deal with some form of weather, whether it be hurricanes, whether it be earthquakes, whether it be tornadoes, whether it be fires, whether it be mudslides. You're going to have something that you're going to deal with. And of course, being a Floridian, I'm a little biased that I would prefer hurricanes versus tornadoes or other things that I can't predict and I can't see coming. At least with hurricanes, you get well in advance notice. You get to know when they're coming, where they're going to hit, and you get to plan accordingly to get your family to a place of safety. So it's just part of what we deal with. So I don't want to downplay it like it's nothing, but the loss of life, it doesn't have to be something that you have to fear, because again, you get more than forewarning. So this is people outside. This is less than 24 hours after the storm, as you can see here. And I'm going to see if I can get some of my customers to talk about their experiences, since literally 98% of my customers stayed in place. We'll see if I can get some of them on camera to talk about what it was like going through the storm. All right.
Great news, guys, since I have some of the best customers in the world. I was able to get 2 of them on camera to talk about their experience of weathering the storm. They actually stayed in place during the storm in their homes, and so they're going to give you their account of what it was like to weather the storms. Now, other great resources that I wanted to bring to your attention quickly. After this video, you want to be sure to actually access via your phone or your computer our full catalog of videos where we actually done more extensive interviews with locals that have lived here all their lives on hurricane. So if you have any disease or any just, concerns, you actually should pull up that video. You actually can access it by clicking on the video tab, and there you'll be able to pull up our full catalog. We also have playlists broken down by area. So if you're interested in Jacksonville, Nocatee, St. Johns County, Master Plan communities, you can access it via our playlists. All right, let's jump back over to our video for today.
Here in Northeast Florida, we have been spared from many of the effects of the storm. I think we've had Tampa in itself, just to give some kind of perspective. Tampa within itself hadn't had a major storm in over 100 years. They haven't had a direct hit in over 100 years in a lifetime. That's what the weather meteorologist told us. As well as here in Northeast Florida, we haven't had a major direct impact in over, I think, 150 years. So I thought, just to put your mind at ease, that we would take a drive through the area just so you can see it for yourself. Right now, I'm currently driving through Silverleaf. And honestly, guys, there was absolutely no damage. actually where I was, closer to the St. John's Town Center area, there wasn't even, like, there was barely leaves on the ground. So I'm going to take you on a driving tour of Silverleaf. Like right now, you can see it out of my window. As you see, look, there's literally, guys, I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see, but there's literally no, like, debris or anything really on the ground. And this is Friday. The storm was here as of Thursday morning. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around. Then we're going to drive through Shearwater. We're going to try to drive through Nocatee. Okay.
The day after the storm, I had the privilege of driving through most of South Jacksonville near JTB, the 210 St. Johns County area, World Golf Village, and driving through the neighborhoods. And honestly, guys, there was little to no damage. Only thing I even saw that was out of place were newly planted trees, some that the builders have just planted in the neighborhoods, one or two of them knocked over. But honestly, in most of the neighborhoods, there wasn't even a branch on the ground. If you hadn't have known, watched the news, you wouldn't even known in most of these neighborhoods that there was even a storm or even any potential of damage that came through these neighborhoods. And this is actual footage. Even as of Saturday, Shearwater still did their fall festival in their clubhouse, where they had blow up bouncy houses for the kids, and just a really great time where I was able to catch up with some of my customers and get their account of what it was like going through the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I have a special treat for you. We're actually here in Shearwater. Now, we just did the drive-through, so you can see that sometimes what you see on the news does not actually match what we experience in real life here in our neighborhoods here in Northeast Florida. As you see, there was little to no damage here to our area here in Northeast Florida. Even with Shearwater, which you agree, it was barely a leaf out of place, right?
Yeah, there was hardly anything out of place.
Yeah, so I want you to hear directly from Nick. He actually lives here in Shearwater. He's going to give you his account of where he moved from, how long he's been living here, and what's his experience in dealing with storms.
Awesome. Yeah. So my name's Nick. I just moved here from Pennsylvania. Thank you. All that. And we moved here because we wanted, a more warmer climate. We were kind of over the winters, so that kind of sparked our interest in moving down here. Of course, we had thought about hurricanes before we moved down. And I was telling Kashira, just like up north, we have blizzards, and we were prepared for those. So when we came down here, we had a feeling they would be more accustomed to dealing with hurricanes, and we would learn from the locals what to do in those situations. Yeah.
So you actually had the opportunity to go through two storms now, Helena and
Milton.
What was your experience?
So like the locals will tell you tips and tricks.
Yeah.
That one was like a little thunderstorm. So like by the time it actually hit us. And then same with Milton, that was really hyped up. It was supposed to hit us dead on, and then it wobbled to the south, and that was actually even lighter of a thunderstorm than Helene was. So, and I was telling Kashira this story earlier, how up north they would tell us you would get a blizzard, right? And then it was going to be 2 feet, and then you get like a dusting of snow, if that. So you can't always trust the hype from the weather.
Yeah.
I do know nationally you get worse news than you do locally.
Yeah.
So like my parents, my family all called, they're like, everyone in Florida is going to die. Like, you got to take cover. And then like everyone here is like, we're not leaving. So, and like your local townships will tell you if you have to evacuate or not. So if it's expected to be bad for you, like they give you that heads up. So it really wasn't that scary. I was, because Sharon texted me, she's like, are you guys okay? Like, this is your first real bad one. I'm like, we're okay, we're calm. And she was really shocked. But I think, we're on the social media here, and the people talk and they give you advice, and they're like, we went through this storm and this is how it was. So it's just about being prepared, not so much about being scared.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Another thing I think that people don't realize when you have the privilege of purchasing in a newer neighborhood. So anytime you're purchasing in a new construction neighborhood, the developers that develop the neighborhoods don't want to be a burden to the homeowners to have to buy flood insurance. So they purposely come in, bring in filler dirt to raise the elevation of the grounds of the neighborhood. So very few, I've never really heard of any of my customers, especially that have bought in newer neighborhoods that have been built in the last 7 years, have any flooding in new neighborhoods, because they're literally designed for storms. The infrastructure is set up that you don't have to deal with flooding. Now, that's a different story when it comes to downtown St. Augustine, downtown Jacksonville, and historic areas. But our area is actually literally built to withstand storms.
Right.
Unlike some of what you saw, and our hearts go out to those in North Carolina. Our terrain is flat, so we don't have places where water can just build up because our terrain is flat. So that's a slight difference. But at least you got to hear from locals. So do you regret moving here as a result of having to deal with storms?
No, not at all. I think that, like I was saying earlier, like we had blizzards up north. So like if you're out in California, you're used to earthquakes. If you're in the Midwest, you're used to tornadoes. And tornadoes can be a side effect of hurricanes, but they're not like the big ones they get in the Midwest. So I think that the natural weather did not deter me from moving here, and it certainly doesn't now. Like I don't regret my move. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for tuning in. You got to hear from a local for yourself. All right. Stay tuned. We're going to give you more information about dealing with storms here in Northeast Florida.
She's the best.
As you can tell, I have some of the most amazing clients that anyone could be privileged to work with. And one of my other clients was willing to share on camera their testimony of what it was like going through these past 2 storms in their home with their family. And they want to share their testimony as well. So we're going to make a part 2 so you can hear the full extent of their testimony as well.
And everything okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was surprising because in the middle of the night we had some wind. We heard about the wind coming in the window, but nothing else. We just slept, and then in the other day everything was okay.
Unfortunately, we are out of time for today, but I want to be sure that you stay tuned for our part 2. You can access it by pushing the video tab, and there you'll be able to pull up our full catalog of videos and access our part 2. Now, this is Kashira Francis, aka Francis, your licensed Florida real estate agent, here to make sure you get paired up with the right home that's been built correctly at the right budget and the right location for you and your family. I'm here to help. Don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to help you.